just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to another episode of the Believe in FCS Football podcast. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, two former Rhode Island football players, formerly my friend Sean. Sean, we booked the trip today. We're excited the trip is next weekend. It is officially booked. We are ready to go. We are going to Campbell.
I don't want you to say we. I don't want you to refer in the we sense when talking about booking the trip.
Oh,
Sean booked the trip.
Okay, you booked
Sean
the hotel.
got the tickets.
No. You booked the hotel and you paid the small price it cost for the tickets, and I dropped.
Not a small price. Not a small price.
I'm not going to say out loud the amount that I dropped on a plane ticket to Raleigh a week before from Los Angeles.
Whose fault was that?
It's mostly mine, but it's mostly mine. But don't act like you're don't do that the bit where you're like acting like you're some.
You need to take some accountability.
I'm sorry that I've been running around with my head cut off.
No. You're not the only one that's been running around.
That's not true. I
haven't been running around.
I don't like when we do. I don't like when we do that.
You look me in my eyes right now. Hey,
I don't like.
You look me in my eyes right now. You tell me if you're the only one that's been running around.
I don't like doing the who's more busy bit. That's never ends well.
I'm not even saying that.
Okay, can we talk about can we actually focus on the trip? We're officially going on the trip.
Yes.
So for our Campbell listeners, even though Campbell has been struggling a little bit, we're gonna be there at the homecoming game. So the same thing happened last year when we announced the trip and we talked a little bit, and we've been in touch with some Campbell folks. Let us know where we can tailgate.
Campbell himself.
Yes, J.A. himself. Let us know where we can tailgate. Let us know where we should meet up with people. Who are the people to hang out with? Who are the people to avoid? What do we need to do?
The time is here.
DM us, by the way.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
The South Dakota State folks were so organized with their.
You don't think Campbell's going to be organized?
Well, I think they will be organized, but I remember having to basically assist you walking around that Saturday morning, till we found the group of gentlemen that we were with, gentlemen and ladies. Campbell, I feel like we're going to be doing some walking. We're going to be doing a lot of walking around, seeing what's going on. No one's going to know us, but we're going to try to have the most authentic Campbell experience that we can.
Yeah, when we were at South Dakota State, there was actually more than I was anticipating. People who were like, "Oh, you guys are the podcast guys." That was cool. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get with the Campbell folks. I don't know. By the way, Sean, I have to bring this up that I feel so bad for the guy who keeps tagging us about the lasagna.
Here, if you want us to eat your lasagna,
I don't know if he's a listener or not, or if he just wants us to try his lasagna.
If you want us to do so, then rally the troops for next year. That's all you can say.
Okay, we'll come and we will try the lasagna. It's just I didn't know Missouri was known for this one guy's lasagna that we keep getting tagged in. He seems very nice, though. He seems very nice.
Other people have seemed nice on social media as well this week. Do you want to?
Are you talking about Kwame's daughter that reached out to us?
That Kwame, the very nice. We want to do Kwame's Corner.
We've just been too disorganized. We've been too disorganized to coordinate.
I felt like Kwame's Corner became a more of an off-season type situation where the listeners came in. We're in season now. A lot of reviews, a lot of previews, FC estimates, all the other type of segments that everyone else seems to tolerate. So Kwame's Corner will be returning in the off season, and if there's time for us to do a Kwame's Corner one-off, we would love to do that. And we'll just have it with a hard reset, starting off with Kwame's Corner, and then we'll do the determination for questions afterwards to rename it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think we had an aspiration to maybe do a weekly separate Kwame's Corner show, or just mailbag is what anyone who's wondering what that means. It was named after Kwame because Kwame was our most active listener when we first started, and he still listens, according to his daughter.
Kwame had it stripped, or Kwame got it when Rusty had it stripped from him.
Yeah, Rusty, I don't know what happened to him.
Hoping
Rusty,
he's doing okay.
Yeah. All right, Sean, we got games to talk about this weekend. We've got two fun games. One of them I think is going to be lopsided. The other one has some legit end of season implications on it. Not our best weekend slate of games. I think last weekend's slate was like
That was pretty good.
The bar is set so high. So like with these two games, it feels underwhelming, but at the same time, these are still great games to pay attention to. The two that we're going to be talking about, Richmond versus Elon, we're going to be talking about UC Davis versus Montana State, and then holy shit, we got butchered in picking games in FCS.
Yeah,
holy
FCS
shit,
this was rough.
That was bloody. And props to you for not trying to manipulate the math, because according to
just because
you,
I
do that.
The fact that you even suggested that I would do as such makes me.
But you're the one who suggests that I do it. So I would assume that you would try to use this as an opportunity because you're the one who did the math this week. As an opportunity to get back up on me.
That is rooted in bitterness because you might have been fudging the numbers.
No,
This time, the way that you brought it up, the way that you worded that makes me really believe that.
Well, you've arbitrarily claimed that I fudged the numbers. So like, of course I'm going to like take those shots at you. So don't.
Mine is not even a shot. It is now concrete evidence.
All right. Well, speaking of picking games,
sure.
I'm debating if I'm going to put more money into Bet Online and make more picks this week, and I probably will. But Sean, what are you going to be betting this weekend? Or is your mental health better than mine?
I'll be betting tonight. Here's the deal. Thank you. Just got paid by Bet Online, so happy about that. So that money is going to be going right back to Bet Online.
Right back to Bet Online.
Oh man, no, there's a fantastic Thursday night football game on tonight. I'm telling you. Well, now that I said that, it's going to be a 17-10 stinker. But Bengals, Dolphins in Cincinnati. Bengals are having the whiteout with the white helmets. It's going to be a masterpiece of a game. A lot of high-scoring offensive players, fun defenses. This is a game that I will be glued to. If I'm at a bar and the TV is not on the bar, I will Uber home or take a scooter home or steal a bike from a child to get home and watch it in my own living room. That is my plan. I am watching this game. I am betting on this game. I'm betting on this game at BetOnline because it continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, BLEAV50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. I know we have Ohio listeners. I know we have listeners that are watching Youngstown State just duke in their bed all year, all right? So if you're an Ohio fan, you got Cincinnati playing tonight. Throw some money down on that. BetOnline.ag.
That's some interesting imagery that you just added in at the end there. I don't, but
a nice white ball in the background. Awesome.
What? No, I'm saying never mind. Yeah, know what you said.
I know.
Before we get to these games, and I forgot to put this into the notes, and I actually wanted to lead with this, and I forgot. So, Sean, by the end of this weekend, our listeners are going to be wondering, why is the podcast feed name different? It's going to say Hack City on it. So the name of the show is still the same. Still believe in FCS football, but we are opening up the feed. So it is all college football. It is going to be the audio versions of the live streams and the reaction shows that we're going to be doing for college football. If it's just me, if it's the both of us, we just want to be able to expand our coverage, be able to capitalize on improving the quality of it. And this is one of the steps for. Yeah, you said momentum. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, we have significant momentum right now, and we are trying to keep pushing forward. And right now, the thing that we're trying to build is the branding for Hack City, and it's FCS football, FBS football coverage. That's what the channel is simply put.
If you are, I'll make a note of this. If you are struggling finding the podcast during this transition, which you won't, but if you are, do not stop listening to the show. DM Joe or I on Twitter, and we will help you find it. Okay, we don't have a big service team or
get on the
phone
with you.
Yes,
we will on the phone with you
through you to keep you as a listener.
Colin will get on the phone with you. Colin, who is our customer support line, the Hack City customer support line. Colin will take care of that for you guys. See, we're finding so many ways to use Colin. All right, Sean, let's talk about these games. Richmond versus Elon. We've got another CAA matchup, as always. These CAA games, very similar to like how the Big Ten is like, where you might not have two highly ranked teams, but it is a battle that has implications for the end of the season. Right now, Richmond is slowly creeping up towards the top with William & Mary, with Delaware, and they're trying to fight for the respectability, the credibility amongst the elite in the CAA. And Elon at the same time is not that far off. It is a very tight competitive race to the point where the only team that I can point to, only two teams that I can point to and say that they're actually legitimately bad in the CAA are Stony Brook and Albany. The rest, it's all up in the air. It can be anybody at the end of the season that's going to win this conference. It looks like it's going to be Delaware, but this is going to help us figure some things out a little bit more. Now, the big battle that comes down here, Sean, is the quarterback battle that we have between two transplants in Reese Udinsky and Matt McKay. Matt McKay previously at Montana State, and Reese Udinsky was previously at VMI, then Maryland for a little bit, and now he's at Richmond. So a lot going on with this game, Sean. What do you think?
I do have thoughts on this game. I'm not being goofy. Is a transplant different than a transfer?
No, it's
just a different word.
I'm just using a different word. It's like
I needed to.
You know what I mean?
Question. I know. I didn't know if that was like a transplant was two transfers and then.
Do we need like do I need to start like a daily word of the day and like text you like a different word every day and then help you learn and develop your vocabulary? Because we've kind of flipped places here. The fact that you just asked me that because you used to give me shit for not knowing words.
You don't.
And here we are.
You don't know words. You don't know pronunciations. You don't. But I'm trying to get my college football jargon up to date. So I didn't know if you were jargoning me.
Transplant's not a jargon. It's just
like me
using a synonym because the word transfer is so over.
Yeah. I don't know words.
Fuck off. Go ahead. Give me your takes on this game. Can we actually talk about a football game?
I had a simple question and you were hostile. I don't get it. Synonym.
You know what you were synonym buns. That's my favorite. Talk about the game for fuck's sake. Talk about the game.
Through 4 games, McKay and Udinsky have been doing pretty good. Okay, they both are over 1,000 passing yards. They're both doing pretty good. Udinsky 2 more touchdowns on the season. Then McKay, Udinsky has 11, so he's just about 3 touchdowns a game. William & Mary has been a upstart this league. They have had some very good wins. They beat Charlotte, but William & Mary. Jesus, I'm stupid. Elon, watch what I was doing. This is where I was trying to connect the dots. William & Mary had some good wins this season. They upset Charlotte, and then they were beaten last week by Elon. Elon proved something to me with that because that is a massive CAA matchup in week 4, and Elon took it and they bumped William & Mary down. All right. Mm-hmm. If I'm confusing you, I apologize, but Elon better than William & Mary right now. Richmond has looked good this year. They have a quarterback that is experienced. They have a quarterback that can control an offense. But are they playing with as much momentum as Elon? I do not believe so one bit. Richmond has a very good defensive player, Marlon Lewis, averaging 1 sack per game. Hard to do in college football because all the offensive line is going to be sliding to you and sliding to you and sliding to you. You're going to be getting chipped. Tight end's always on you. You see it in football when the best, even in the NFL, when what was it? The Giants had to keep on putting a tight end on Micah Parsons because he was just destroying Evan Neal.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing shade. It's just
no. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. Okay, so they're gonna Elon's gonna have to use some resources for that, but Elon is not short of players. Marcus Hillman averaging 7 tackles a game for them. So this is a CAA matchup early on, but is a critical CAA matchup for the title for who's going to be contending with Delaware at the end of it. Because we could talk about Monmouth, we could talk about UNH and Villanova and all these other teams, whatever.
Yeah,
this is where all the muddy stuff gets figured out.
So the one thing that I point to that makes this game super competitive and is going to be a really important battle, and you pointed out the fact that Elon beat William & Mary, which I almost completely forgot about. So they've already established themselves ahead above William & Mary. But as we know,
both high on William & Mary.
Yeah, and as we both know in the CAA, though, you lose one game, you still are capable of winning the conference. Like you lose one of those tough matchups, as long as you're still in contention at the end of the season, it's one of those conferences where you're going to get knocked off one week. But what gets really interesting when you look at these two teams, they both had quality FBS matchups and they played them both really close. So Elon only lost to Vanderbilt 42-31, and McKay had a really good game in that performance. Vanderbilt's not the same team that got beaten by ETSU last year. Vanderbilt's actually a quality team this season. Not good enough to
better.
They're better. They're better. They would be a really good group of 5 school, but because they're in the SEC, they're going to finish with 4 wins. Besides the point.
Did you see what Tennessee's planning on doing?
What?
They're planning on checkering out Vanderbilt Stadium.
That's fantastic.
Sorry. I'm in both worlds right now. I know it's FCS. I know.
And in a similar vein, Richmond played against Virginia, who is also a quality program, and they only lost by 17. So we're here in this circumstance where I can't necessarily sit here and tell you which team is ahead above the other. They're both really, really competitive, which is going to make this a fun game to watch. And honestly, I think I slightly lean Elon in this game.
I do too.
Very slightly lean Elon because I think McKay is a very underrated quarterback, and we're just inherently snake bitten by the fact that like Montana State fans, and I think just in general that like he kind of got forced out of there by Malott. Then it's easy just to be like, oh, screw this guy, he sucks, and now he's playing really well.
Yeah, it's another the transfer portal and all of this drama that has been surrounding it has been focused a lot on what happens with the FBS and how are they going to be buying players to come up. That we saw it with Tucker Kraft and the ideas and the pitches for them. But again, it can be valuable to the umpth degree, whatever that term is, for FCS players to go get a different start. You're in it. You go ahead, go to a different school, get a new start, take over the job, make a program better. That's what McKay has been doing. Yes, that's what McKay has been doing.
Sean, game number 2. So this is actually really, really odd. So people are going to be sitting here listening to, why the hell are you talking about a 1-3 UC Davis team playing against Montana State, who's going to completely run the table with them? Let's take a look at UC Davis's schedule that they have had this year so far. So they stomped out San Diego 43-13.
Yes.
Huge victory. Narrowly lost to a beaten up South Dakota State team, but at the same time, really good South Dakota State team. They only lost by 2, 24-22. They lost to Cal 34-13. That's a Pac-12 team. Still kept that kind of respectable.
Still unfortunate that it was Cal.
And then they lost to a really good Weber State team that is ranked and 4-0, 17-12.
Weber's a little gritty this year too. So This is a hard first 4 gauntlet for UC Davis. And UC Davis last year, I think, had a hard first 4 gauntlet. Yeah, that first September month was tough for them, and then they surged late.
They are always a program that if they start slow, they're capable of bouncing back. But here is where the concern comes into play for them against Montana State, because Montana State's defense is really good, and we know that they've got a really freaking good run game, even though Sean Chambers is probably starting and Malott is not available for this game. Going to be a lot of Elijah Elliott, I assume, getting the ball in this game. This UC Davis squad just can't score points. They can't. If they want to keep this game competitive, that this is going to have to be a defensive slugfest, like a 21-17 game if they want to win it.
Yeah, you're going to need Gilliam and Larison, pardon me, to do well on the ground, and then try to get some chunk plays on that defense running the ball. You could fall forward for 3, you could fall forward for 2, but eventually that Montana State defense is going to get their TFLs and negate all that stuff. All right, so you need to have the big boys up front opening some holes. You need chunk plays. You're not really any FCS teams are going to wear down this Montana State defense. They just won't. They're big, they're fast, and they're tough as hell. So you need to get creative, use some good chunk plays when it fits you. And then conversely, Montana State getting pretty creative on offense. They're running fake QB powers to the flat. I saw one of the Twitter coach. It's embarrassing to say I follow some of these people, but some of these Twitter coaches post plays from the previous week that are creative. This was not one of their double orbit tight end flex up the seam type plays, but this is a creative play in the red zone that showed Montana State is not just going to run inside zone all day. So that is something that you have to conversely think about for UC Davis.
Now, despite all of that, Montana State, I believe, is going to win this game. UC Davis is capable of keeping it close, but I don't think it should be like a debate here. Like Montana State's Montana State, and they're one of those teams that's surging. Despite dealing with injuries, they are surging in the right direction.
Surging because they beat Eastern Washington. Okay, they lost by 40 points to Oregon State. Oregon State, way better this year. Way better this year under Jonathan Smith. They're really rolling. So they've been better. You don't love losing by 20 or 40 to them, but they beat McNeese and they beat Morehead State also. So strength of schedule through September, not what UC Davis has had to go through. This will be a tougher matchup for Montana State than the players, the coaches know. The players and the fans are expecting for the Bobcats.
All right, Sean. Let's get the FC estimates. Okay, so we both went 4-10 last week. Holy shit! Wow, we got we got William and Mary wrong. We got Austin P wrong. We got Austin P beat EKU.
Got Incarnate Word right. Fumbled it. Utah.
Kennesaw. Yeah. What the hell, Incarnate Word? Like what the. And of course, we picked the stupidest game, the Utah, the Battle of Utah. That's what we're gonna call it. Can we get a graphic for that, like we did last week? Can we get a graphic for that? The Battle of Utah.
Oh, do you have your jokes prepared?
I don't have my jokes prepared. I'm not.
All right, then you're gonna have to do it on the fly.
I'm not doing it again. All right, Sean, let's pick these games. Holy Cross versus Harvard.
I put this in here because Harvard is a notably good Ivy League team. I am taking Holy Cross though.
Harvard sucks. Give me Holy Cross, even though it pains me to say that. Missouri State versus North Dakota State. No. Sorry, Missouri State versus North Dakota. Yeah.
You dummy. Missouri State.
Eat shit. Missouri State.
God.
Richmond versus Elon.
I am taking Elon in this game.
I'm gonna go Richmond. Oh wait, didn't I talk about how I wanted to go? I leaned Elon.
Go ahead. No. You're changing live on the spot, huh? I have never once done that ever.
Why are these in all caps, by the way? The ones that you picked. NAU versus Portland State.
I am taking Portland State. NAU let me down big time last week.
Give me Portland State Portland is how I wrote it. Yep. So that's my pick for this game.
You're illiterate.
UC Davis versus Montana State.
I am taking Montana State. Closer than it should be, but Montana State wins.
Montana with 2 A's, but no state. So apparently the Grizz are going to be playing in this game based on what I wrote down. Southern Illinois versus Illinois State.
I am taking Southern Illinois.
I'm picking Illstat is what I wrote down. Man, I was struggling to write these down. Illinois State, though. I refuse to pick the Salukis.
Okay, you know what? I almost am proud of you for maintaining the bit. It's not a bit. It's real life. You really blew me off.
It's real life. Okay. I refuse to pick for them every week. All right. Austin P, Central Arkansas.
I am taking Central Arkansas to win this game.
Give me the P. Chattanooga versus ETSU.
Chat them up. Give me the Chattanooga here.
Chatty as well. Samford versus Furman.
I am taking Samford. Sneaky good this year so far.
Give me Samford. That's what I wrote down. NC Central versus Campbell.
Homer pick. Our yearly homer. My homer pick here, Campbell.
I'm also going with Campbell. I'm excited to buy some Campbell gear. I think that's going to do really nicely to have.
You zip it.
What?
I buy the gear.
No, the mistake I made last year is I was too intent on buying a hat when I should have bought a shirt, and I'm buying a shirt this year. I don't wear hats as much anymore.
You should.
FCS Football Podcast at Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, Hack City. Hit that sub button wherever you're tuning in, and we will be back sometime next week. We have no idea when.